If you find it difficult to switch to chords like E minor, B7, G, and find that the ukulele is slipping if you're not wearing a strap, don't worry. This is really common and there's a few ways to fix it. This is a question that I received from a Patreon member and I thought it'd be easier to answer in video form, and hopefully it helps you. And if you have any tips for how to help people with this, please share yours in the comments down below. So let's first go to the holding of the ukulele issue. When you're holding the instrument, if you find that this side is constantly falling, let's fix that first. Of course, the easiest way to fix that is by sitting down, and let me show you how to do that. But I'm not going to spend too much time here because most of you are probably already sitting down when you're playing. But just in case there's something we can tweak there, let me show you. If you hear a little bit of white noise, there's a plane flying over the house. Apologies for that. So, okay. One little thing you can add is a step stool, and this will help you. I'll show you in a second how. But you don't need it to be a step stool. Like, you can put a bunch of textbooks together, a shoebox, or a yoga cube. But I'm gonna put this down and you'll see what it does right now. Okay, so this is with my legs just normal. And now with it on the step stool, look at this. So look at how the sound hole just moves from putting it on the step stool. And now the ukulele is in a much more comfortable position for me to play with. Let me show you the side angle of that so that you can see how I'm setting that up as well. So this is without the step stool, and then boom, step stool. It's not right next to me. It's a little bit further away from me. You can put it on you if you like, though. It doesn't matter. Okay, so now I have this top position here. I'm going to use this part of my arm. Look up. I'm going to use this part of my arm. Excuse the nasty nail. I smushed it while I was working. I'm going to put here. That makes sense. I'm going to put this part of my forearm on this part of the ukulele. And I'm going to make sure that it's locked between my leg and my forearm so that once I have that nice position, and it takes some wiggling to find it, I can let go with the fretboard hand. And I'm saying fretboard hand because I know there's some people who play lefty, so don't want to exclude you all. So you should be able to strum without the ukulele falling. If the ukulele is falling, then rinse, repeat. Lift the leg or cross the leg and add the ukulele, lean it up against you, not the whole thing. Remember, you want some space there. And then add the forearm without a sleeve. Why without a sleeve? Well, because if it has a sleeve, look at this. Woo! Look at this. I'm not doing anything. It just wants to slip. Maybe this fixed the problem for you and you're gonna click out of this video. If you click out, please hit the like button before you go. So just roll back the sleeve. Now I roll back the sleeve without even thinking about it because it is an essential. Okay, I said I wasn't gonna spend so much time here, but I lied. Okay, next fix. Now if you're standing up and the ukulele is slipping, let's fix that. So I'm gonna bring it to my heart. Some people play lower, that's cool. This is just what works for me. I'm gonna bring it to my heart. Same with the forearm. There's another plane flying, sorry. Same with the forearm. I'm gonna bring it here now, different position because I don't have the leg helping me. I'm doing it mostly like if you were a continuation of the neck. I'm bringing my arm there. And how far into the forearm should it be? Well, that depends on where you want your strumming hand. Do you want it at the fretboard or do you want it at the sound hole? And if you're not sure, then the spot right in between is a sweet spot. So find that spot, bring it close, wiggle around and see what's comfortable. Now here you're not really gonna let go with the fretboard hand because the ukulele is flying. So what I find that helps a lot is to think about the index finger as a bed. And I call this the ukulele bed, TM. So I use the index finger, but without really touching the strings. Look, I'm not touching string A. It's just on the side, just there for me for when I need it. And then if I'm gonna play a C chord, I'm playing C chord, but I have that index finger holding my position for me so that I don't lose the instrument. But this enables me to do basically any chord shape that I want without losing the instrument. So now let's talk about those 3-finger chords like C, like E minor, B7, and G, and how to switch to them without losing the instrument, or how to just switch to them. I'm gonna go back to the seated position just because this is how I normally play, but this would apply for playing with the strap or playing standing up. So let's go to E minor first. If you're playing an E minor, chances are you're switching there from a C chord. So here's a little hack for how to play C to E minor. I like to put the index where I'm gonna need it for the E minor, and then playing with the C chord playing with the middle finger for C chord. So I'm gonna play this way, and then the index finger is already in place for the E minor. So if you do this with me, you'll find that it's so much easier to switch to it. The most important thing to do when you're struggling with a chord switch is to look at the chord before and the chord after your challenging chord. Because if you can switch to the chord, that's great, but switching out of it might be a new challenge. So let's try G chord. Let's pretend that we're playing La Bamba, which is C, F, and G. And let me show you how to switch there easily. Okay, so what I would like for you to do is pretend that G is a 2-finger chord, because switching to F is not that scary, right? You go from C to F, it's fine. So if you pretend that G is a 2-finger chord, here's what's happening in the hand that makes the ukulele not drop. Look up. I'm letting go of that F, and my forearm's helping me keep the ukulele in place, right? So I'm letting go, but there's a moment where there's the ukulele bed, and then I land those 2 fingers. So F, ukulele bed, G. There's that in between, like, pit stop that no one talks about, right? F, ukulele bed, G. F, ukulele bed, G. And then you can add the ring finger. You don't have to add it this first week. I would love for you to just do F, bed, and G. And then F, and then G. And try to make that moment where you're resting the ukulele shorter and shorter. Now, I've saved the last switch, which is to B7 for last, just because it is much more challenging. And I'm gonna give you what works for me, but you might not like it. Songs like Can't Help Falling in Love, you switch from E minor to B7, right? So let's talk about that. So you're at E minor, already a challenging chord to get to, and then you've got to do B7. Do the same trick, mental trick that I mentioned for G. Pretend it's a 2-finger chord. Land the first 2 notes, add the ring finger later. So you're at E minor, land the first 2, and add the ring later. But what works for me is just to do a leap of faith with all 3 fingers, because they're already in the shape that I need them to be. So it's just a matter of doing it. And the bit that I mentioned that you're probably not going to love is that all of these things, every single thing that I mentioned in this video, you can achieve just by spending time on your instrument. And I used the word hack earlier in the video. I might have edited it out of here because I don't like that word. I don't like I guess how it comes across. It comes across as if there's a shortcut, but really there are no shortcuts to avoiding practice. If you're avoiding practice, all of this is going to be really challenging. And I know from my personal experience now that I'm like starting with classical lessons on guitar, that I can't cheat and find someone who can teach me how to do a bar chord. Like, I really just have to do it until it works. So with your ukulele, you just have to have the mindset of, I can figure this out. I just need to spend time with the instrument. And the best way to practice without practicing, like let's say that you feel like you don't have time for it, Or, you know, like for example, in the evenings, like you spend time with a spouse or a loved one and you don't want to be playing because you're watching TV together or doing some other kind of thing together, then don't play out loud. Like, don't strum your instrument, just hold it and do these little switches, and just let your hands discover what the space between the frets is and the space between the strings is. And you know, I mean, I've done this in the car, even when I'm the passenger, that I'm not actively playing. I just have the ukulele and I just will be trying to memorize a song, so I'll do the chord shapes. So it took me very, very long to give you the answer of how to do all of this, but it really is just practice. Like, just share time with your instrument. It's not an answer that you might love, but if you practice and you come back, you're gonna think, oh wow, yes, that's what I needed. And then you're really gonna love your instrument a lot more. Like, you made the investment in getting it, so why not share time with it? And if you liked this video, please hit the like button. And this ukulele, I just unboxed it because I'm adding it to the Etsy shop. It's gonna be for sale. I like to play all of the instruments before I put them in the shop. One, because I love ukuleles, they're my drug. But two, I like to make sure that they're in good shape before I hand them off to one of you. I would hate to send an instrument that just doesn't feel right, you know? So I like to play them and stretch the strings a little bit. That way when you get it out of the box, it sounds good. So if you're interested in this or other ukuleles, check out the shop. Look at this rounded back. Oh, it's so cool, it's so cool, it's so cool. I love it. And this one comes with a strap button. So that's the easiest way to solve all of these issues too, is practice and a strap. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Ciao.